Hello, hello! Welcome back to VBS Event Summaries. With the conclusion of today's event, we will officially be caught up on the VBS stories on the EN server. How time flies, right? Feels like just yesterday we began our journey to surpass Rad Weekend, and now here we are, taking on the world. But first, some setup from a few events ago needs to come to fruition. Remember the World Links? Well, they're making their grand return in today's event, turning pain into drive. VBS starts off the second rotation of World Link events, running on the JP server from April 8th through the 20th, 2025. The second round of World Links do not have commissioned songs, but the VBS cover of Hana ni kaze just so happened to release on the same day that the event began, so I kinda associate that song with this event. As a little reminder, World Link events are split into individual character chapters, with separate intro and outro chapters. Don't worry, you'll know when we switch chapters. I'll have the little animations play in between them. Without further ado, let's see what the Sekai has in store for us this time. A strange presence blankets the space between worlds. Inky darkness spreads between the prisms made of the feelings of many, a blemish not so unfamiliar for those with eyes to see it. What could be happening in the Sekais? Being in the US doesn't mean VBS is unable to access and enter their Sekai. In fact, since their usual practice spot is back home, VBS has been using the alleyways of their Sekai to practice while on vacation. They've been learning a lot from their time in America, which might be why the tree in the plaza has been growing so quickly. Why don't we go check on that tree, It's gotta be magical or something, with how fast it's grown from a little sprout into a huge, sprawling... Oh. Uh-oh, it's suddenly turned black. From root to tip, the entire tree is enveloped in a deep, dark shade of black. Upon closer inspection, the tree itself hasn't withered. More like a bunch of black fragments are now suddenly covering the tree, like a bunch of aphids all crowded together. Kohane tries to brush away the black fragments, but as soon as her fingers touch the prisms, ink spills over all four of them, whisking them to a place far, far away from here. Toya wakes up in a classroom. It's mostly empty right now, but there are two students standing over him, urging him awake. They're speaking German. They giggle about how boring this particular teacher's lessons are, prodding at Toya for nodding off. Toya responds to them in German. He's just had a strange dream. The lecture begins and Toya loses himself in his thoughts. He's been in Vienna as an exchange student for a while now, and though learning complex things in a foreign language has been difficult, he has his mother to thank for the opportunity. A few months ago, Toya had been at his wits' end with his father. Nothing was working. He'd been raised on music, but none of it felt right in the end. Classical, street, nothing. He's being lambasted at home every day. Even breathing has become difficult. Toya doesn't belong in that house anymore. Which is why Toya's mother suggested that he move in with his oldest brother, Natsuomi, and study abroad in Vienna. Even though his life might be different now, it's still Toya underneath it all. He still doesn't know how to cook. Natsuomi is very busy with various concerts and all, which means Toya is often left to his own devices at home. Doubt worms its way into his thoughts over dinner. He has to believe he made the right choice. The next day, Toya's classmates ask him for help with their music class. They're amazed by his pro-level advice and wonder why he stopped playing music now. Seems like a waste. Things were hard at times, but as memories of singing with Akito flash through Toya's mind, he recalls them with fondness. They all feel like a dream now. A dream of a more brilliant time. Toya's classmates suggest that he try his hand at music again when he gets a text from some of his old classmates at Kamiyama. Toya still hasn't responded to the message by the time he returns home. His classmates want to organize a little reunion for old time's sake. Toya isn't sure what to do. Thankfully, Natsuomi cooks that night and they have a nice meal together. But Toya can't really hide his indecision from his brother, and they talk about this Kamiyama reunion. Natsuomi thinks that he should go. Toya is admittedly worried that Akito might be there. He doubts Akito will want to see him after what happened. Natsuomi asks if the feeling is mutual, and of course it isn't. It never could be. but Toya would feel too ashamed to show his face around Akito again. Natsuomi catches the look on Toya's face, the look of someone who cares deeply about something, and encourages him once again to attend. Maybe telling Akito the truth of his feelings will solve some of the anguish that he feels. Akito's vision clears to the wings of a live house. People are speaking English all around him. Well, of course they are. He's in America, after all. Akito gets up on that stage and gives the crowd a show. He's even thinking about surpassing Rad Weekend. Everything seems normal, save for the fact that he's alone. The stage manager suggests that Akito attend an after-party put on by some of the other musicians, and despite the need to finish his daily run and such, Akito agrees to go. The other musicians compliment Akito on how far he's come in all aspects since moving to America. He could barely speak English at all before, and now? It's like he's a completely different person. The other musicians ask if Akito wants to team up with them. He declines. It's nothing against them, but Akito decided a long time ago that he would chase his dream alone. After Kotaro pulls the plug on the power in the main story, the Vivids decide to disband. Akito is shocked by this, but he still isn't put off from his goal. Toya is. They fight like in the main story, and they never reconcile. By the time Akito had calmed down enough and was ready to talk to Toya again, Toya had already left for Vienna. Akito also gets a message from his old Kamiyama classmates, though alongside them is a mysterious synthetic voice. It flashes for only a second, and then it's gone. A few weeks pass, and it's time for the Kamiyama reunion. Akito and Toya see each other for the first time in over a year. They briefly talk about their lives away from Japan, and Toya is a little surprised to hear that Akito is still singing, and in the US at that. He's glad. Akito doubts him for a minute, remembering what he said about Akito's childish dream, and walks towards the back of the group to the restaurant. The chatter of their classmates is about what you might expect. Akito and Toya hardly acknowledge each other while their classmates keep trying to get them to talk without much success. When Toya admits to having given up music, Akito stares at him, dumbfounded. He can't get a read on Toya, not like how he used to. After everyone heads home for the night, the awkwardness hangs heavy in the air as Akito and Toya both realize that they're heading the same way. Akito knows that this is his last chance to talk to Toya, but he folds and makes some excuse about wanting to walk around a bit more. Thankfully, Toya steps in to fill the gap. He asks Akito if they can talk. This conversation is long overdue. Kohane hasn't moved to another country like her teammates. She's still right here in Miyamasuzaka Girls Academy. In her music class, Ichika sings for the group, and everyone comments on how amazing it is to hear a pro in real life. Kohane thinks about how confident Ichika sounds, much unlike herself. Not being able to find her voice after the power cut in the main story leaves Kohane in emotional disarray. Despite that, Kohane takes the gift An gave her, the love of singing, and carries it into her life. She may not sing in front of a large audience anymore, but she can sing in her music class at least. Ichika and Honami are very impressed by her skill. Kohane's music teacher asks her to sing at the school's upcoming music festival, and while she stutters and deliberates, that same synthetic voice flashes for a split second too. It feels so familiar. Kohane decides to push herself out of her comfort zone and join the festival performers. The next day, Kohane goes to practice at a park. She needs to get used to singing in public again, after all. Ever since that day, An sent her a lot of messages. Kohane couldn't respond to any of them. If she can barely sing on stage, how can she surpass a legendary event? An shouldn't be shackled by her. But Kohane's resolve isn't something that escapes her so easily. It's still there, just hidden. Kohane decides to visit Vivid Street the next day. It's still a little scary, especially now that An isn't with her. She runs into some live house managers who talk about her partnership with An and how they kind of miss it. But it's a touchy subject for Kohane, so they drop it and leave her be after she stammers out some excuses. It's not that Kohane is trying to avoid An anymore. Quite the opposite, actually. She thinks she might be able to sing with her again someday. Someday. An is singing all alone now. She's still powerful, for sure, but it's like she's lost her spark. When the Vivids broke up, it left An feeling like a piece of herself was missing. Kohane wanted to keep going, but she didn't think she could muster up the courage, and without that, well, An would never force her to do anything. Maybe things were better off this way. Kohane loves the way An sings, and she doesn't want her to give up, so An should keep chasing her dream. Those memories are what keep on going. It's selfish to think that Kohane would ever come back, but the time they spent together was special. Ken comforts his daughter when she returns home that night. It's natural for An to still think about what she had with Kohane, even after all this time. She doesn't think she'll ever find someone like Kohane again. So that just means she'll have to surpass Red Weekend on her own. That's fine, it's just what has to happen. An also hears a mysterious voice from somewhere, asking her if she can hear it. Ken doesn't hear anything though, leaving An with a feeling of anxiety. Is she forgetting something? Ken tells his daughter that there's still a chance Kohane will come back someday. If she hasn't started to hate singing, if some part of her still cherishes what they started back then, it's possible that she could return. Maybe, just don't give up hope. An goes to sing at her usual spot the next evening. If there's even a slight chance that Kohane might hear her, she has to try, right? Hey, don't leave just yet! I know this video is long already, but we still have 2 more general chapters to go. Don't you want to know what happens next? Stick around just a little bit longer, okay? Toya is finally able to apologize to Akito. He's sorry for belittling his dream the way he did, and he's sorry for how things turned out in the end. Akito doesn't forgive him, but he can understand where Toya was coming from back then. He was going through a lot. Akito turns to leave just as more static voices fill the space between them. Vivid Street is just around the corner. Could it have been people singing? But no, there's something familiar about these voices. Akito runs off in the direction of Vivid Street. Toya gives chase. Akito finds An giving it her all in her usual corner. Her voice is filled with so much hurt and suffering, so different compared to how she was before. Screaming, desperate. This isn't An as Akito knew her. An spots him and the two easily fall back into their usual bickering. It's reassuring to see them still interacting like how they used to. They're even deciding to have a singing battle right here, right now. Just like the old times. Kohane and Toya show up in the wings not too long after An and Akito start singing. Their former partners throw down with everything they have, and it reminds them of why they sang in the first place. It's making them want to join in. A memory of the Sekai and Miku flashes in Kohane's mind. What was that? Her true feelings? Well, she wants to sing with confidence. She wants to get stronger, and she wants to be up on stage with her partner again. Kohane launches herself into the fray and sends a shockwave through An and Akito's systems. Seeing Kohane act on her instincts makes Toya wants to join in as well. He wants to sing with Akito again, but he can't stay by his side if he's not serious. That's what drove them apart in the first place. And yet, Toya lets a single line slip through the cracks. He wonders how he was able to go so long without singing, and fully enters the song. Akito immediately knows what to do, and they fall back into a duet like nothing had ever changed at all. Like nothing had ever changed at all. Why are they so excited all of a sudden? Why does this feel so right? If they've never sang before, why? In a flash of prisms, all their memories come flooding back. The hardships, the triumphs, wins and losses, everything that brought them to where they are now. That's right, they're Vivid Bad Squad. But none of that matters right now, does it? They just need to keep singing. With their memories recovered, the 4 of them are able to recognize what just happened as some sort of strange Sekai phenomenon, like a weird shared dream. Everyone is just glad to be together again. An crushes Kohane in a hug, and Akito even says, "You're not allowed to disappear like that again," to Toya. "We're back in the gay squad, people." Right, so how did they get out of here exactly? Untitled isn't on any of their phones, so they can't just outright leave the Sekai. Well, somehow, by walking towards Weekend Garage, the four of them managed to wake up back in their Sekai, all of the Vocaloids standing worriedly over them. They were all trying to get them to wake up the entire time, which explains the scattered voices they heard. None of them can recall what happened in that dream for a moment. More importantly, all of the black fragments are gone from the tree now, replaced by shining rainbow ones. The tree absorbs them all and grows even more right before their eyes. The fragments of feelings that showed them another reality. Why would the Sekai show them something like that? It's like the tree collected all of the negative, residual feelings that have been festering in the hearts of VBS all this time. They never truly go away. But for now, it seems like this alternate reality dream has cleared things up. Being shown the way things could have turned out was awful, but it made the bond between them stronger. They still managed to find each other, even in an alternate universe. Besides, this is their current reality. All the more reason to take their lives into their own hands. To the stars above. Okay, yes, now we're finished. That took a lot longer than I thought. The first World Link was mostly filler in my opinion, and this is also technically filler, but I had a much better time reading through it. Maybe I just love the angst. That's not a maybe, I totally do. This also kind of establishes the theme for the second round of World Links. It's basically, what if everything was awful and terrible and everyone in the unit was separated? Yeah, fun times. I hope you'll look forward to the others. This next part will be my usual sappy message about catching up with the unit's story, so feel free to click off the video now if you don't want to hear it. But we're done with VBS. For now, because I think this video will go up just a week or two before Kohane 6 drops on EN. Don't worry, you definitely haven't seen the last of VBS. Thank you for all of your support through the VBS portion of my summaries. I love reading each and every one of your comments, they really keep me going. Some of the VBS stories can be a bit of a slog, so if you've stuck with them through the year, I'd like to extend an extra special thank you. The story doesn't end here, though. We've still got plenty of adventures in America to cover. Join me next time for Aim Higher and Higher. But also, maybe stick around to see something new on the horizon. I'll see you then.